Welcome back. You are tuned in to IBL, inspired by Onika, speaking on life and inspiring people. Hi everyone and welcome. This is episode 47 and the title for today is called Be Yourself. So I know that sounds very simple, right? Just two little words, be yourself. And it is a simple concept, but sometimes we can go a little bit off course. And that's mainly because we have so much visual stimulation with all the media. For example, TV, radio, social media, and even some video games. Like we are just flooded with so much media. Just, even when you turn the TV on, there's all this stuff. And on the internet, we have all this information that's just right at our fingertips. So the thing is, while we're seeing all these visual things, like, for example, you might see a person doing a presentation, for example, and you may say, oh, well, I like the way they're doing their presentation, especially if they're doing one that's in person. You might say, well, I like how they address the audience. I like the way they speak, the way they engage with the audience. And we may say, okay, well, I have a presentation to do, so let me copy what they're doing. But you can't do that because you have to just stay what is true to you and your true essence. Everyone is different. Some people are more natural when it comes to certain things. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with taking an idea or two from someone else, but you can't go so far and so deep with it to where you look up and you're looking in the mirror like, well, you don't recognize yourself anymore. And you're like, well, how did I get here? Who are you? You have to make it to where it's something that is definitely keeping to your core essence. Just be yourself. And then you got to ask yourself too, even if you like and you admire what someone else is doing, and you say, wow, they're really on point with this. I'm going to do the same thing. You can't do that. You cannot do that. We are who we are. And the thing about it is some people, they have natural gifts. For example, some people, they have the gift of gab, and while other people, they struggle to find the words. Like they don't always know what to say. It just doesn't come easy for them. Also, some people, they have a nice singing voice, while others, they can't hold the tune. Other people, they have good genes, while others have to work harder just to maintain a decent, just so they can keep their physical body looking a certain way. Then we have others who are computer savvy, but then others, it takes us a little longer to catch on and to learn. So you get the idea of what I'm saying. We're all good at different things. And so we don't want to copy other people because that's not who we are. Even if we admire what they do and they're really good at it, you want to make sure that you keep it true to yourself, and you got to ask yourself, why would you want to be like someone else? Why would you want to? Everybody else is taken, so you don't want to try to be like other people. Just be yourself. There are going to be some people who will love you for who you are, some people that won't, but you can't please everyone, and true story to that. So, for example, I know there was a person one time I heard them, they were talking about me saying, oh, she's just so happy. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so is it a crime? Did I do something wrong because I'm happy and you mad about it? Like, I don't understand that. And the thing is, and there are some people who, they're just grumpy. They're never happy. They're never satisfied. But just to look at someone and say like, oh, she's so happy and you're upset about it. Well, I am a happy person in general, not to say that every day is great and, I don't have problems and, I'm not perfect. I have my days and, I'm just me and that's just who I am. So, it's like sometimes when you are around or when you enter a room and you're happy, you're in a great mood, but you walk in and you could just feel the thickness in the air. You know what I mean? So for people to say, oh, she's so happy. And I've heard this before. I've heard it before. It's nothing new. And it's just like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not going to walk around being angry or, it does nothing it shortens your life when you're angry. I'm sorry. I have problems like everyone, but to me, there's no reason not to be happy. It's no reason. So that's what I mean when I say just be yourself. Just be yourself. You can't try to be like others. And like I said, even when you are admiring someone else, you don't want to try to be so much like them that you don't recognize who you are, that you lose sight of who you are. Okay. And another thing too is that when you're being yourself and you truly do believe in yourself, you're not afraid to do things that you love. And even if you already know deep in your heart is something that you're not good at. So, when we put ourselves out there and we do things that, we may not be the most comfortable with, but it's something that we love to do, you're just going to do it. You're not going to care what other people say about you or what they think about you. And if you do care about what others say and think about you, then you may not want to do anything that's kind of in the public eye, that type of thing, on any type of public forum, because you're going to get the critics, you're going to get the negativity. So just don't worry about it. Like me, for example, I'm someone who, I'm still camera shy. It's not something that comes natural to me, but it's something that I like to do. So I continue to do it. And I know that even, let's say if I'm making videos and audio for years and years and years to come, I may never improve or get better, but I know there's always something to learn, just in life in general, but if you ever find yourself and you feel like you've gotten so far off course and you're trying to emulate other people, the things that you can do, there's three things I'll make a suggestion about. So one of those things to get back to yourself, if you ever feel like, like how did I get here? I want to get back to who I am. Okay, one thing is to do the inner work. Okay, look inward, remind yourself of what your core values are. That's very important. That's one way, and you really have to be intentional and really think about it. Okay, do the inner work. All right, so second thing is to be kind to yourself. Think about kindness that you would show to other people and do that for yourself. We can't be nice to everyone else and then we're so hard on ourselves, it's just going to bring you down. You don't want to do that. So just be kind to yourself. And then also you want to, when you feel like you might be lost or you don't know how to get back to who you really are, you have to sit with the feeling and acknowledge it. Okay. Sometimes we go through this. We're not perfect. We're people. Our emotions sometimes they go up and down and sideways. We don't know. It can happen. It can happen and it's okay. It's okay to feel this way sometimes, but definitely acknowledge it, sit in it for a minute and, don't just brush it off like, oh, it's nothing, because obviously if you feel this way, then something's not right. So I'm going to go over that list again. Do the inner work, be kind to yourself, and sit with the feeling. Okay, those are three ways that you can get back to yourself if you feel like you're just off course and you need to, get back to who you really are. Okay. And so I'm going to leave you with a quote, and this is the quote by Jesse Owens. The battles that count aren't the ones for gold medals. The struggles within yourself, the invisible, inevitable battles inside all of us. That's where it's at. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The battles that count aren't the ones for gold medals. The struggles within yourself, the invisible, inevitable battles inside all of us. That's where it's at. So that's a quote by Jesse Owens. And this is the end of episode 47, titled Be Yourself. And I want to thank you all for being here and listening. I just love and appreciate all your support. And make sure to share this episode, leave a like, and leave a comment as well. Let me know what you liked about the episode, what you didn't like. And, if you want to share your own experience, if this has ever happened to you. So again, everyone, thank you again for listening. Until next time, stay well and be blessed. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the IBO podcast. You can hear this and all episodes on the Podbean app, YouTube, and Spotify. Until next time, stay well and be blessed.